Good morning and welcome to Missoula Real Estate Today. This is Denny Bedard. Missoula Real Estate Today is presented by Diane Beck of Windermere Real Estate. Diane's been working with buyers and sellers in the Missoula market for over 25 years and shares her insights on the local housing market. Along with her trusted partners, Diane provides complete service for your real estate transaction and brings us guests who provide useful information on industry-related topics and trends. And now, Missoula Real Estate Today on News Talk, KGVO. And good morning. Sure glad you are with us. Always appreciate you having us on for Missoula Real Estate Today, presented by Diane Beck of Windermere. And our guest this week, a buddy of mine, he's the service and install manager at Qualty Mechanical. It's Josh Murphy. How are you? Good to see you.
Well, I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
I know it's the time of year, like if you get air inversions or even smoky conditions, that a lot of people will call Qualty Mechanical and want to know what the air quality
Yeah, certainly. It's a little misleading sometimes. We get a couple of those calls a year.
Yeah.
Wondering what the air quality is outside.
What is the air quality? No, never mind, Josh.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, but it's kind of a little bit of a different name, right? I mean, I know you didn't name the business Qualty Mechanical, but I don't know if there's any background to that, but it's a little bit different name.
Oh, yeah, certainly. And we like to take care of the air quality in the home, not so much, what's outside. We can't control that. But we can do a good job controlling what's in your home.
There it is. Well, besides the name of the business, the get acquainted part, what all your duties are as the service and install manager, what led you to Qualty Mechanical, how long you been there, and all of those things. Let's get to know Josh Murphy a little bit.
Sure. Well, yeah, I've been with Air Quality for 15, going on 16 years in February. So, had a great career with those guys. A small mom pop business that's not so small anymore. We're up to about 8 or 9 guys in the field. So largest we've been, but still a locally owned company. So great to work for those guys. Good family. Born and raised in Missoula. And when I was out of high school, I knew that the trades were kind of calling my name, and wasn't quite the college road. Wasn't really calling my name much. So my neighbor actually was in the trade, and he's the one that kind of got my interest started, and met David and Ruby, and sort of I've been with them since 2005. And
it's fair to describe you as being under the a lot of people. You'll probably hear us say HVAC during this show, but you're kind of under the HVAC umbrella, right?
HVAC umbrella, yep, that's
everything that Qualty Mechanical offers. Well, you're required to be in many homes and offices. How has coronavirus affected the way you do business, and what do you try to do to make sure your customers are comfortable with what you're there for?
When everything first kind of hit Missoula pretty hard, it did affect us. We weren't going into houses. The stay-at-home order wasn't very popular with us. Traveling into people's homes, so we were down to just emergency service only, and some new construction stuff. But so that sort of kicked off the busy season a little bit different than it normally would. But we've adjusted. We want to make sure, that we're going into people's homes safe. We want to respect their environment and not expose them to something, that we're bringing in. So we do our duty to, stay sanitary, hand cleaner in the vans, masks, temperatures in the morning. So making sure everybody's well and taking care of our customers.
And not that you wouldn't anyway, but you really have to, don't you? Because a lot of times, especially we're getting to the time of year where I'm sure you get a lot of no heat calls during the hot summer months, early in the summer, a lot of no air conditioning call. I mean, you have to be. There are just times when customers have to have you, and it's really not an option in some cases.
That's correct. Especially in the winter, air conditioning is still borderline luxury in Missoula. Okay. With our cool nights, smoky fire seasons, that starts really driving air conditioner sales and indoor air quality a lot during the summer months. But the time we're really needed and it's more critical is during the winter and fall months when pipes can freeze and people are, you got to take care of kids and elderly, and nobody likes to be cold and uncomfortable. So
absolutely. Missoula Real Estate Today, presented by Diane Beck of Windermere Real Estate. Our guest is Josh Murphy. Josh is the service and installation manager with Qualty Mechanical. And Josh, as the season changes, boy, we've had a heck of a change in the weather in the last week or so. What are some of the main service calls you are having to address right now?
A lot of them are just, it always seems like you get that first wave, when it gets cold. You get some birds' nests or bees' nests built in exhausts and intakes during the summer when the equipment's not being used and kind of stagnant.
Yeah.
You get a little of those troubled calls. You get some of the calls that, the equipment stopped working last spring, and it was almost, it was getting warm, so we figured we'd call next year, and then you kind of forget over summer till you go to turn it on. So we get some of those calls for sure. Not to pick on anybody out there, but there's those just plugged filters, and all sorts of random things can happen. After your system sits dormant for several months.
Yes, and the season's only just begun.
It sure has, kind of overnight.
Here in mid to late October. Well, that kind of leads me to the next question here about what are some of the typical mistakes you see that could maybe help customers have more efficient running systems prior to having to give you a call with a problem?
Oh, certainly. And I think the biggest thing or the first question we like to ask a lot of times is when's the last time you changed your filter? Time flies by. I don't know. At least it does in my life. It seems like it's been a few weeks, and it's been a couple of months.
Right.
And so changing that filter when you're supposed to do it every anywhere from 30 days to 2-3 months.
Even if you're not really using the system very much.
If you're not using the system a lot, or this shoulder season right now, there's not as many hours on that filter as the dead of winter. So you can kind of stretch it out towards that 2 or 3 months during the fall season, and then you maybe have to pay closer attention in the dead of winter, real cold season. And it also depends on pets and kids and just living environment inside. I've got a dog, and he makes a ton of dust, and so everybody's life is different. Where a filter lifespan can range pretty far.
Yeah, so that's a pretty simple fix. What else do you see that you kind of like to encourage people to try to do on a regular basis that might save them a little money, frankly?
Right, and just keeping, if you've got like a high efficient piece of equipment, a lot of those are vented out the side of the building, and instead of going out the roof, and so they are a little more accessible to critters or kiddos. We've had all sorts of calls over the years. I've had people leaning rafts or kayaks up against their exhaust and intakes. We've had Easter egg hunts. We've found plastic eggs inside of them.
Oh no!
Yeah, so it's a little tempting sometimes. You get some kiddos running around when that furnace isn't on, and they see a pipe that they can maybe throw some rocks in, or a bird bird wants to go in there and build a nest. So just keeping those vents free of obstructions on the side of the building. They need their full, ventilation to be able to operate that furnace properly without affecting its operation. So,
yeah, good advice. And of course, it is the time of year. Well, maybe a week or two past the time of year. You always encourage pre-season maintenance. So, what all is involved in a standard furnace tune-up that you offer at Air Quality Mechanical? I know you talk about that, you promote, you advertise furnace tune-ups, but how detailed is that? What all do you got to do?
Certainly. The tune-up, we go through it just head to toe, top to bottom. It's a good thing to do pre-season, but it's not a bad idea in what we're trying to do to maybe help customers or homeowners, get around the main rush of fall, is to do it in the spring when we're slow in February, March. It's a little, as long as you're tuning it up once a year, it shouldn't really matter whether you do it now or you do it, first part of the year next year. Right. But that tune-up, we come out and we like to just check everything for safety and operation. So we go and we may have you lead us to the thermostat, fire everything off, make sure the furnace goes through a complete cycle. Just make sure that you don't have any concerns or questions, any oddball, it was making this noise, or it seemed to maybe not work, a couple times last week, or just get a feel for your system and where it's at. And then we'll go down to the furnace itself, and we just basically take everything out of it. We check all the burners, all the safety switches, your igniters, your pilots, your flame sensors. Remove the blower, clean and oil if necessary. So it's just a head to toe check or service on the furnace to make sure that we do everything in our power to catch anything before it may fail, be preventative about that, and then just clean it and keep it healthy and hopefully extend its life period.
Is it kind of like going to the auto mechanic and you call Air Quality Mechanic and you say, my furnace is making this clunky noise, and then when you come make your service call, you can't make the
more than not. It's not. It does definitely happens more times than not.
All right. Well, but tune-up that sounds like that sounds like a pretty thorough, modest investment. Before you obviously there's going to be times when you may need a new furnace, but boy, it sounds like you do a lot for a pretty reasonable price on that. We
do, and it's usually about an hour appointment or so.
Oh, okay.
And so it's not too intrusive. We kind of in and out and make sure everything's running top for you.
Missoula Real Estate Today is presented by Diane Beck of Windermere Real Estate and our guest Josh Murphy, Service and Install Manager with Air Quality Mechanical. What about trends, Josh, in climate control systems? Are customers asking for any specific technology, bells, whistles, gadgets, doodads that you might not have had access to a number of years ago?
There is a lot of different technology that's moving pretty quickly. There's different stage furnaces, for a lot of comfort features that are offered now that didn't used to, be around, just help maintain, if you think about it, in a new car, you get in and you set the temperature you want the cabin. Yeah. And it when it first comes on, it starts out really high fan and just giving all it has. And then you'll notice that fan gets quieter and the cabin or it becomes comfortable and you're just sitting there and it's just on idle, that heating or cooling in your car. That's what we're trying to do with furnaces. And so they have different stage equipment where it's going to come on and give you that full capacity it has. And then as it starts getting closer to that set point in your home, then it idles back a little bit like cruise control to go down the highway. Huh. And just maintains that temperature. If it's 70 in the house, it keeps that nice 70 without just being on off and kind of having that wave of up and down temperatures. It's a great comfort thing that everybody's coming out with in the furnace technologies. And another great, really cool. Everything's going with Wi-Fi, and smart stats and smart homes. And so a big request lately has been, just Wi-Fi thermostats you can control from your phone and monitor. If you're out of town on vacation, you can tell if your furnace doesn't come on. You can call a neighbor or a family member, they can come check on the house and call call somebody out on and take care of the furnace while you're, so your pipes don't freeze, that kind of thing.
You see a lot of people using that, yeah?
We do, yeah.
Wow.
That's definitely a popular feature that's becoming, very popular for sure.
Yeah. Well, you guys offer so many other services. Let's talk about dryer vent cleaning. I know you guys discuss that a lot and encourage them. Why is it important to have that done on a regular basis?
Well, just having your dryer vent cleaned, you're getting rid of that sort of wet, sticky lint that builds up in that metal pipe, and causes a restriction. It causes that dryer to work harder, overworks that element, and then is also, the main. It's a fire hazard. You have all that lint in there with a bunch of heat, and you definitely have the possibility of of a fire for sure. But just efficiency, drying clothes. If you got a bunch of kids, again, a bunch of hairy pets, or you do a bunch of towels or blankets, and it builds up in there for sure. So it's just nice. It helps the equipment run better.
Yeah,
more efficient.
And you guys, you go through the entire vent there. What is the difference between the process you use and I'm not knocking products you can get on the shelf, but What's the difference between the process you use and some type of vent cleaning kit? That's probably not the right word that a customer might purchase at say the hardware store.
Right. Well, we come into the home and we remove the dryer, get it out of the laundry space so that we can access the vent from the back, and we actually clean. Our portable machine, our Beast, comes in with us, and we've got a hose and brush assembly that goes down that dryer vent, and so it spins and scrubs the inside, and we go all the way from behind the dryer out to the exterior of the building and make sure that that's 100% clean. And another thing we've run into are screens on dryer vents on the louvers outside.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Some of those ship or factory with screens in them, and we've had several where they just get overlooked during installation, and so that screen just builds up that lint. It doesn't allow it to escape the vent properly, and so you get a big snowball effect behind that screen, and you end up with a blockage.
I'll bet you that some of your customers are just stunned when you show them, what was what was.
I've pulled out, you could almost fill a pillowcase and make it's just a 5-gallon bucket full of wet, soggy lint. Sometimes it's just
typically,
crazy.
They're not typically real long, are they? I mean, as far as the length of the tube, the vent,
they're not supposed to be,
but they can be.
They can be, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, there's, new building codes. 25 feet is supposed to be max length on a dryer vent. So any newer home built at least in the last 20 years should be close to that 25-foot length.
Yeah.
You do get in some areas where maybe they weren't inspected, or just sort of done out of the norm, and you might have one over length, but typically about a 25-foot, and that includes all of the 90s. Each 90 is actually equivalent to 5 feet of pipe. So if it has 4 90-degree bends in it, you already have 20 feet of dryer vent without any pipe. So you definitely have to be cautious of where you run it and how you terminate it outside.
Usually about how long does a dryer vent cleaning take you?
That's usually an appointment that's booked for about an hour and a half.
Okay.
And so we definitely, of course, we run into those where you're there for 2 hours or whatnot, but they've got to be pretty dirty, and they're not all dirty, but it's definitely a nice preventative maintenance to do for sure.
Missoula Real Estate Today is presented by Diane Beck of Windermere Real Estate. We have Josh Murphy, a service and install manager with Qualty Mechanical. We're getting your furnace tuned up, and we're getting your dryer vents cleaned, and we got to do some duct vac cleaning too. I'll ask you pretty much the same questions, Josh, about duct vac cleaning. Why is that important, and what is it you're going to be able to offer with your system that exceeds say normal cleaning methods?
Well, sure, yeah. We've got our Beast. If you've heard
Beast.
That advertised, the
Brush Beast,
the Brush Beast, and it again, it's a portable unit, comes in the house with us. And what we like about ours is we go from vent to vent, and we clean down each register to the main trunk line. If you think of it as a tree from your furnace, you've got your main trunk, and then you have your branch lines that run to your out to your registers. So we sort of clean from those and work our way back to the furnace. And so we feel like we have a really thorough process and get everything all the way from the furnace out to the registers.
Does it matter about the quality or the makeup of the registers and the vents itself? I mean, it's very strong and powerful, but do you have to kind of double check to make sure that it won't potentially do any damage to? We
definitely don't want to come into a house and leave it in a worse shape than we found it for sure, and we definitely don't want to do any sort of damage in that aspect. For our machine, it's rated for any sort of ducting, whether it's the metal that's typically used, if there's a flexible duct, the insulated flex duct that's used a lot of times, we can clean that. There is one particular brand of flex that was in the 70s maybe. if your home was built maybe 60s, 70s, there is a flex that's out there that the accordion spring basically has come loose inside that duct. And I have had issues with not being able to clean those.
Right.
And unfortunately, it's nothing that we can tell until we get there and physically see it. But that's the only one that I've ever come across that has any trouble.
Yeah. And not asking you to do price quotes here. We won't do a price menu, but the number of registers you have in your home or business, that can kind of determine a little bit of what the investment's going to be. Am I right about that?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you call into the office, you get asked what the what the register count is in your home.
And nobody knows that.
No, nobody.
Nobody
Nobody sits in their
Murphy,
home. No,
and you do this for a living.
That's right. Nobody sits in their house and just boy, yeah. What do I? Most of the time you don't even know that they're there. It's definitely nothing knows off the top of their head if they're calling from work and all of a sudden out of left field they get asked how many registers are in their house. So, but it is more important than you'd think. Not only, it varies the price of the project, but it also varies the block of time that we set aside.
Sure.
If we're cleaning up to 11 registers, we're gonna, block out time, to do that. If we end up coming in and there's 20 or 25, then our technician's going to be scrambling, or we're going to be canceling the next call, because we're overbooked. So it is a little more important than you would think to have an accurate count for sure.
Is there a typical number, or is it just all over the place?
It's
average.
It's all over the place. I mean, it typically, your average home is going to have between 9 and 20, I guess. If you're a single, it is. Yeah. If you're a single level, if you're 2-story, if you're on a crawl space, if you have 2 furnaces, Missoula's got a wide range of houses from there's tiny, the new tiny home condo, trend going on. There's definitely the big custom homes, that might have multiple furnaces. So it's always that was the best part about doing that job that I thought, I did it for 6 years, the duct cleaning portion. And the best part the best part of my job is people. One day you could, you never know where you're going, what home you're going to be in, who you're going to meet. And so that was always an adventure for sure.
Missoula Real Estate Today is presented by Diane Beck of Windermere Real Estate. Our guest is Josh Murphy. Josh is the, I got his title here somewhere. Either that or I'll make up a new one for you, Josh. No, he's the service and install manager with Qualty Mechanical. And I also wanted to say thank you to some of Diane's marketing partners that help bring Missoula Real Estate Today every weekend on News Talk KGVO. Rob Fleming with Man Mortgage, Miles Link of Opportunity Bank of Montana, along with Carol Blodgett from MakeItMissoula.com. Well, in this crazy, wacky coronavirus world, Josh, air purification, is there becoming more of a demand from customers to want cleaner indoor air? I mean, you always want clean indoor air. Maybe you just assume it's always clean, but is there more demand for that?
There definitely is, yeah. And as everything's come out with the virus and everybody's starting to talk about more and what's recommended. You hear maybe MERV kind of thrown around, and MERV is your efficiency of your filters. And a standard filter a lot of times is a MERV 8, and they're saying a MERV 13 is really what you need for some of those, for those bacteria and viruses to catch. So that's been a real, real difference. A lot of people calling in asking for HEPA filters or MERV, MERV 13s. Another is air purification or UV lights that purify and clean the air. So there's a real large arsenal of indoor air quality things that we can install or help improve, while you're in your home in the winter breathing the recirculated air. We've got a pretty pretty full list of things
Right.
we can do to help improve that.
One more thing you got to stay cutting edge on, right?
It is.
Yeah. If there is a need for a new furnace, a furnace replacement, or air conditioning, what product lines does Air Quality Mechanical carry, and what makes them brands that you are proud to offer?
So we've been partnered with Daikin the last 5 or 6 years, and Daikin has been a great product for us. Before that, they were Goodman. Well, actually, Daikin bought Goodman and Amana, is what it is, and they're a Japanese company. They've built a large facility and manufacturing plant down in Texas, and so they've invested in our continent, on our turf. So they're making a lot of stuff here, and they're making a lot of jobs, and so a lot of it is made in USA,
Right.
and their warranty is 12-year parts, and we've partnered with Thermal Supply here in Missoula and with Daikin, and on a lot of our 90% high efficient furnaces, we're offering a 12-year part and labor warranty on all of our Daikin high efficient. So their warranty is just top. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no other piece of equipment with a 12-year parts and labor warranty on it.
Yeah.
So they've been a really good partnership for us.
Yeah. Again, that's Daikin, folks. Oh, the other thing I meant to tell all you listeners is that I'm requiring you to count the number of registers in your home if you're listening at home right now. So in case you have to call Josh, he'll be able to help you along. HVAC companies are in big demand. You guys are busy, and I mean all of you. How do you prioritize customers' needs? Everyone who calls, as you know, they want you there 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, always, yeah. And it's tricky. I mean, you definitely can't. It's hard, can't play favorites. We try to stick with our existing customers first. Our service customers, prioritize that way. If it's equipment that we've installed, they kind of go, more front of the line. If there's a maintenance contract, they're front of the line, and then, just try to go, prioritize from there. Our guys work really hard this time of year, and so do the other companies. I mean, we're just nobody likes to freeze, and so
Right.
we work a lot of hours to try to knock that list down, because it can get away from you really fast. And
Sure.
so we pull off of other jobs and get other guys if the list gets too large and too long. We've got multiple service techs that we can sort of back one another up, and so definitely try to go prioritize existing customers and service customers first, and then from there it's first come first serve, unfortunately.
Sure.
We do have the unfortunate emergency replacements this time of year. We come out, or carbon monoxide leaks and dangerous equipment that needs to be shut off, and so we reschedule other jobs and prioritize that way also, because we do understand the urgency there to get heat back on for people. So.
Josh Murphy. Josh is a service and install manager with Air Quality Mechanical on Missoula Real Estate Today, presented by Diane Beck of Windermere Real Estate here on News Talk KGVO. Believe it or not, Josh, we're almost out of time. You get your campaign speech right now. Why should people choose Air Quality Mechanical for heating, cooling, and dryer vent cleaning and duct vacs with brush beasts and everything else?
Boy, that's a load.
I know.
Hate to brag too much. No, it's we're a great locally owned mom pop business. You're supporting local Missoula families, and a lot of families work there, and we like to kind of extend that to our customers. We like to think that they're family too. So a great service. And, just great service experience, I guess.
Well done, my friend. Thanks for coming on the show.
Certainly. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to Missoula Real Estate Today. Any questions about buying or selling? Contact Diane Beck with Windermere Real Estate. Email dianebeck@realtor.com or visit her website, homesinmissoula.com. We'll see you next time on Missoula Real Estate Today.